All right. We're rocking and rolling. We're recording. This is Amber Chin with the Power Hour of Encouragement. This month's topic is on the topic that we all struggle with of fear. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to mute out all the mics here really quick. And I'm getting ready to do a screen share with y'all so we can get started on a good note. I always like to pray over all of my meetings. And so anytime I speak, before I walk into a room or before I share a message, I always just say a quick prayer because I think prayer is the best way to start. And that's the way I run my life. And so I would love for you to join me. If you don't want to join me, that's okay. We still love you. We still want you here and you're still welcome here. And so if you'd like to pray with me, you certainly can. So just bow your head with me. Dear Lord, thank you so much for letting us have this time together. Thank you for all of the people that all down the line of history had to create something or develop something or come up with something so that we could be here via technology today, and we would be sharing a message that we could just change the world with. Lord, I just pray that you open the hearts of the people that are on this call, that you just feed life into them, that they are encouraged, they are motivated, and that when they get off this call, that somehow they go out into the world and they have a ripple effect, that they share the message that has been shared with them, and so that the world may be changed because of your energy and your effort. And so, Lord, I just pray for all the people that watch this recording on YouTube at a later time. I just pray you touch them in the same way. And so just use the words of my heart, the meditations of my mouth, and my energy tonight to just pour into these people on this call. In your high and holy name, amen. All right, let's get started. Here we go. Who's excited? Lots of hands! I'm excited too. I'm so excited to be here with y'all. It is a fun night. I'm getting a couple waves. I'm getting a couple of thumbs up. And so I'm so excited to be with you. So let's jump into the topic of fear. Fear is something that we as humans struggle with. And let me tell you something before we even start. This is an ongoing battle for me. People see me as a strong person, and they see me as a courageous person, a person that can stand up the front of the room and share a message and to be strong and to hold my head high. But let me tell you, it's been a lot of experience to get there. It's been a long road. It's been tough, and there's days where I am just going, I feel defeated. And I'm so scared, and I don't want to jump off of that cliff. I don't want to go down that road again because that's scary and I'm comfortable. I know some of you guys can relate because that's life. Everything we do involves change, and it involves fear. It involves all those things. And so let me just introduce myself here. I'm going to pull up my slideshow that I've got created here. Can everybody see the PowerPoint? Just go like this or wave or, okay, we got hands up. That's a good thing. Okay. So meet me. Here I am, Amber Chin. This is a picture of me sitting on the steps at the stockyard building in downtown Kansas City just a week ago. And so I look fearless. I look like I'm strong. And this picture over here with the scripture in front of it, she's clothed in strength and dignity and can laugh at the days to come. Let me tell you something. That picture was taken in one of the most crisis-driven times of my life, and I was probably reflecting a lot of outer strength in this picture, but I, on the inside, was one of the weakest people in the world. And so this picture is like a ironic image. I showed strength for just a moment. And the photographer, Rachel, she takes all of my pictures, and she's one of my dear friends. She caught this, and when she caught it, she started crying. And she snapped the picture, and she went back and she looked at it on her camera, and I just looked over and I was just like, what's wrong with you? She's like having a hormonal a woman moment. She's like, oh my goodness, I just got this picture. Yeah. I'm like, she's lost her mind. And she's like, no, it was just like this peace came over you and the wind blew at the perfect time. And then you just had this picture of strength all over you. And then I just snapped the picture and it just happened. And there it was. And here was this picture of this strong woman that I so much wanted to be. I wasn't there yet on the inside. I don't feel like I'm there yet now. I struggle every day with being the Proverbs 31 woman that scripture says you should be, and you should be strong, and you should smile, and you should find great joy in your sufferings. I'm not there. Probably never will be. And so this is the reality of me. This is really who I am. This is the picture I took today of myself standing in the hallway. And so my shirt says, but really I just want to cuddle with my dog. I am an introvert. I don't like people as much as people think I like people. I have a whole bookshelf, 2 bookshelves of books in my office, and I like my quiet time. And so I'm so peopled out, and I'm not even sure I want to talk to even you today. This is so me. I'm a research queen, and yes, I'm pointing at a pimple on my face. It's right there. I am human. People look at my pictures and they're like, oh, you have perfect skin, and you have perfect hair, and you have perfect this, and I'm perfect that. And I'm like, I have cramps, and can someone please give me some chocolate? Because I have the heating pad on my stomach right now as I'm talking. Okay, I'm human. I am human, and I'm an introverted human. I am an empathic human. I am a person that cares about other people with my whole heart, so much that my heart gets crushed when someone else is feeling pain. And I've learned that. I've learned that I have to care for myself. And so I had a little bit of a speaking engagement today. I was going to one of our groups here in town just to share the message about Power Hour tonight and invite the people that were there visiting. There was about 60 business owners in the room. But, you know, I knew that I had to take care of myself for tonight. And so I got there late. The meeting started at 11:30. I got there at 11:43. The meeting was being called at 11:45. I had 2 minutes to walk in. The reason I did that is because I really didn't have the energy to talk to new people. And I have to be okay with that. I love people, but I needed to save my energy up for y'all tonight because my commitment was to you, right? And so the meeting was supposed to end at 1 o'clock, and I was sneaking out at 12:58. Okay, because I didn't have the energy to talk to people after the meeting, even though there was several people that wanted to ask me about Power Hour because I'd stood up and talked about it for about 5 minutes. And I just was like, I told one of our staff members that was there, I was like, if they have any questions, just tell them to message me on Facebook. I've got to go. See you later. Because I knew I had to reserve the energy for y'all. Y'all were my number one commitment tonight. And so it's learning to balance what you are and who you are and believing in who you are. That's who you're made to be. And that is sometimes the hardest thing about fear, right? We're afraid to be who we are wanting to be. We may offend someone. And I got all y'all's Facebook responses on the question I asked. I asked on March 18th, what is your biggest fear? Excuse me. Biggest fear. Being alone. Yep, have that fear. Letting others down. Yep, had that fear today when I ran out of the room early. I was like, oh, but what if they have a question that nobody else can answer? Well, what if I need to stay? Not being a good enough wife and mother. We all struggle with that. I'm not a mother, but I'm a dog mom. I struggle with that. I felt guilty yesterday because I didn't take Bailey to the dog park the other day. I was like, because I drove down the park. I've never took her to the dog park, okay? I drove into a park the other day to take pictures, and all these dog moms are over in this gated area with their dogs running free in dog heaven. And I instantly started beating myself up. I don't ever take Bailey to do that. I must be a bad dog mom. I really should do that. She would really enjoy that. She loves playing with other dogs, and I really should do that. I should be better at that. Do y'all do that? You do that with your kids. You do that with your husband. You do that with all those people. Don't we just do that? People not liking me. This has been one of my number one fears my entire life, y'all. My entire life. I'm not just saying this in a small way. I'm saying this in a huge way. Like when I didn't get picked for homecoming in 4th grade, I thought the world was gonna end because people didn't like me. And I was scared that if people didn't like me, I wouldn't be successful and I wouldn't do good things and I wouldn't change the world and all of those things. Don't we just beat ourselves up? Not measuring up to the standard of being a productive citizen. Don't we look around and say, oh, so-and-so's so successful, and isn't social media all about showing how successful we are? I'm this. I want a BMW. I want this. I done this. Our company done this. Blah, 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 blah. I made this much money. I bought my wife flowers. I bought her a diamond necklace. I bought her an engagement ring. I bought this. I bought that. I bought a car. Do we really have to measure up to what other people do in their lives? Is that really what we're called to do as humans? Because if we do that all the time, it's like banging our heads against the wall because we're not meant to be them. I'm meant to be Amber Chin. You're meant to be Mandy McCoy. You're meant to be Michelle Hayden. That's who we're created to be. That's who we are. Kirsten says, I don't have many, but I do think about the possibility of not accomplishing my purpose here on earth, and it gets me moving. So perhaps there's an underlying fear there. I think this is a very interesting concept because last month our topic was on the topic of purpose. And I think it's definitely something to think about. It's something to ponder on, I should say, when we think about fear and purpose, because, it does take a certain amount of fear to pursue our purpose. It takes a certain amount of fear and ambition to get where we're supposed to go. See, we're standing in point A right now. But how do we get to point B? Because that's where we're going. Okay? So this is me. I'm embracing who I am. I'm a research guru, introverted empath that loves people but wants to see a change in the world. And you know what? I've had a fear for a long time of being this person, of being the yoga humming, kombucha drinking, wearing my hair in a big bun, because I like big buns and heating pads, and having a zit on my face. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to go to Walmart in sweatpants. Hallelujah. Praise God. Because good grief, when we're scared to go to Walmart in sweatpants because somebody may see me without makeup. Oh, I think I'll fall off the face of the earth now. Is your world really going to crash and burn if somebody sees you in sweatpants at Walmart? No, it's not. If anything, they're going to think you're a real human. And that they can relate to you more because we all make late trips to Walmart or somewhere else, maybe Quick Trip or gas station or wherever. So embrace who you are. That's the first step of conquering fears in your life. Embracing who you are. Okay? So, what is fear? It's an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous. So it's likely to cause pain or a threat to our health or wellness. Okay? So when you think terror, fright, fearfulness, horror. I think of, what are the movies? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Or Final Destination. Like where she gets caught in a tanning bed. Oh, that scene is just like forever in my mind, okay? So as you think about these things, it's down there, if you look under the verb section, it says, he said he didn't care about life, so why should he fear death? These are real things to think about, okay? So there's some fears on earth that I think are kind of comical and funny. Now, some of y'all don't think they're funny because you have maybe a phobia of them or you have a huge fear of them in your life. And so these are a couple. One of my number one ones is flying. Yep, you see the man up there in the left-hand corner? That is so me when I get on an airplane. I'm better now that I worked with an EMT specialist, Vanessa Nelson. She's absolutely amazing, and she helped me so much with my flying terror. But I'm still just a little bit hesitant when I get on a plane. You see, as being the research mind that I am, if I dissected a plane and took it all apart and knew where the parts went, I would probably be okay with being on one. But because I don't know what parts are where and I don't understand how everything works together, this is how a plane flies to me. So there's some magic dust back there, some very important magic, and then there's some air, and then there's some magic. Yes, that is a plane to me. And because I don't get conceptually why or how, or it just freaks me out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we're up in the clouds, and there's clouds out there, and oh my goodness, the ground is down there, and what am I doing up here? And I have like panic attacks every time I fly. And poor Timothy's got big claw marks on his arm because I'm like, we're taking off and we're landing. Like literally. Okay, so this is my biggest fear. One of my other biggest fears is snakes, but I didn't tell y'all that. Oh, I couldn't even pull a picture to put them on here. They just creep me out, or anything that crawls. Okay, and this picture down here in the corner of the spiders. Oh, like I'm not scared of spiders. Spiders don't scare me in the bit. But I tell you what, when I'm driving and I think there may be a snake under my seat in my car, oh, like I have stopped in the middle of the road because my mind has told my body that there's a snake under my seat in my car, and I've had to look under my seat in my car to make sure there's not a snake. And no, I'm not crazy. Y'all are laughing because I know some of y'all have done the same exact thing, and sometimes our mind plays those tricks on us. Maybe you're scared of clowns. Maybe you're scared of public speaking, which is one of my favorite things in the world to do. I love encouraging people, and I love speaking to crowds. You know that speaking publicly is the number one fear across the board. We're going to look at some stats on that in just a minute. But this is a picture I wanted to share with you because this is a cliff. This cliff is actually in Tennessee. It's at a lake. We used to have a lake home when I was a kid, and it's called Douglas Lake. And actually, this was at Cherokee. But this picture, the guy in this picture is my best friend from high school. We went to senior prom together. He has been my best friend since we were probably in 7th or 8th grade. His name's Lance Cornett, and I asked him if I could use this picture, and he sent it to me. And so I've dove off this cliff so many times that I can't even count. This cliff is a extremely tall, extremely huge cliff, and when I was in college, that was just where we went. It was the hangout place. It was the place that there was no fear here for me, even though there was rocks all in the water and you had to jump like in between the rocks and it was scary. That was just what you did when you're in Kentucky. I mean, we didn't have the movies and all that other fun stuff that kids have now, like cell phones. Like, we didn't have those. We had like the Nokias that, like, yeah, it didn't work half the time. And so, you know, we went and dove off cliffs instead. And so this is what I grew up doing. This was not a physical fear of mine, but don't put a snake in front of me, whatever you do. So just wanted you guys to have a picture of that in your mind. This is what I think some people think of fear. This is fear. This is fear in all decisions of life. Will you jump? Will you take that leap off that cliff? Because if you take the leap off the cliff, it's not too bad of a ride until you hit the water or a rock. One or the other. So I want you to think about that as we're going through this. So I was doing some research on Google. These are a couple of things that I found really interesting. These made me go, As I was typing in, you see what I got typed in? Fear of S. Small holes. Spiders. Snakes. Fear of success. Yep, heard that one before. Small circles. Fear of small circles. Fear of small circles. Fear of sharks. Fear of small spaces. Yep, I have that fear. Yep, got that one. Fear of small holes close together. Very interesting. Fear of spots. Yep. Had lipstick on my shirt today and I was pretty fearful. I wanted to get home and get that lipstick off my jacket because I love that jacket. But anyway, fear of strangers. I can say this for kids. You know, I can see this for adults as well in some circumstances. But other circumstances, strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. Okay? So, let's move on forward. Here is some data on fear. So, top phobias. Fear of public speaking, glossophobia. 74% of the U.S. population have this phobia of speaking in public and doing exactly what I'm doing right now with y'all. So a lot of y'all on this call would never want to do what I'm doing right now, and I understand that. That's cool. That's not who you are, and I'm cool with that. That's why I'm here, okay? Fear of death. 68%. That's a big number. And you know what? We're all going to pass away one day. We're all going to pass away. We're all going to die. And people have a huge fear of that and accepting that. Fear of spiders, 30.5. Fear of darkness, 11%. I have a fear of darkness, especially when I'm in Kentucky and there's no street lights. Like, I've got used to being in the city where there's street lights everywhere and it's light outside when you walk outside. And then I go home to Kentucky and it's like, whoa, there is no lights here and it is very dark. Like, I'm scared to go to my car because I can't see. Okay? I wouldn't say I have a fear of it because I do normally just go to my car and then my mom is like, a bear's gonna get you, a bear's gonna get you, something's gonna get you, snake. So I always wear boots because I'm so scared of snakes. Okay? So I just want you guys to be able to relate to me. I want you to be able to relate to me, and I know you guys have some of these fears too, and so that's why I'm just being honest and authentic with me. So I have a fear of thunder and lightning, totally right here. I'm totally scared of thunder and lightning. I don't like big storms. I like to listen to them, but I don't like when the thunder hits, especially here in Kansas where it's really loud, okay? Fear of open spaces, fear of confined spaces, fear of flying, fear of people or social situations. Should be on my forehead. I have social anxiety. I don't like meeting new people. Okay, I have a hard time with that. Now, I can sit down one-on-one with you all day long. I love conversations. I love being one-on-one, but it's hard for me to walk into a crowd and meet new people. Okay? So, dental fear and dental phobia statistics. Now, a lot of these are, some of the graphs that I have are outdated. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to pull all the things that I wanted, but I thought it would give you a good idea of kind of the things that you could be thinking about in your mind. What I'm trying to accomplish here is I'm just trying to trigger maybe some of your fears, maybe fears in your past that you haven't thought about in a long time. And so fear of dental. Some people have a dentist fear. Like maybe they've had a bad experience with their dentist in the past and they have this huge fear going to the dentist. Me, I'm like, clean those sideways. Like, clean them really good. Like, here, I'll hold them out there for you if you want me to. Like, I love getting my teeth clean because I love clean teeth, okay? But some people don't like that. And so I actually took a selfie last time I was getting my teeth cleaned. It doesn't bother me at all. So everybody's a little bit different, okay? So there's some stats on that. These were really interesting. These are the ones I'm talking about that were outdated, but I still found so much value in these. These are, these give me comfort, even though they're a little outdated. I'm going to go back and pull some new ones. I'll post them on the fear page once I get them pulled and look at them. So this was concern about terrorism by age, gender, and party ID. And this was actually in 2011. So I would definitely say that the fears have went up in today's world, okay? Especially with our war on, the whole ISIS thing and all that. I'd say these numbers have went way up since 2011. But, men, 29% are concerned. And then, look at the numbers of women. I mean, they're so much higher than the men. Like, we have such bigger fears. We have higher anxiety. We worry more because they're the worriers, okay? I think that when God created the man and put him on earth and he gave the woman to him, like he just like said, okay, like I'm going to create this man. He's then going to do things on earth and great things. And you're just going to stand over here and you're going to worry for him because he's just going to keep doing what he's doing and you're just going to worry for him. Like, I feel like that's what God did because God has a great sense of humor, right? And so all these things, look at them. It's just funny. So this one, 2002 and 03, this is way outdated, but it just like calmed my heart for some reason. I was like, I feel like I need to share it. And so, almost 25% of us fear of a theft of a car or theft from car. I do. I'm like, don't you leave my purse in the car, you put it in the trunk, like, or you carry it, like, I will not leave my purse in my car, even if my car is locked, because I have a fear of someone breaking in. But really, statistically, chance of being a victim of a crime is very, very low compared to our fear spectrum, okay? So these charts just really gave me some peace, and so I hope they kind of do for you as well. So let's move on forward. So here has been a little bit of my fear journey. I didn't have a guest speaker tonight because there were so many things that I could talk about on this topic, and I felt like it would benefit you. And I do guest speakers almost every month, but this is a topic that I felt like I was really wrestling with myself. And I was really juggling some balls in the air here in this department. I was struggling when I decided to do this topic on, what makes me make decisions? What makes me move forward? What makes me stay or go, or all these different things? And so these are a couple of things. So still walking it every day. I walk my fear journey every day. And it's a huge one. Like today when I walked in a room of people that I didn't know, my heart beats fast. I don't feel comfortable. It's not natural to me. And so fear was becoming who God made me to be and letting go of who the world wanted me to be. You see, the world wanted me to be that person on those pictures, that strong, courageous, stand up for us, all those things. And I am that. I can be that for other people. I can encourage people. I can inspire people. But that's not how I refuel myself. I refuel myself with a good book and a cup of joe. Like, that's who I am, and I'm okay with that. And I have to embrace that. So fear is getting out of my comfort zone. It is not my comfort zone to be looking like an all-out hot mess with a pimple and hot pack on my stomach tonight. But to be authentically who I am, I needed to embrace out of my comfort zone. You see, I'm from the South, where you're supposed to dress up and you're supposed to look good and you're supposed to have on a dress every Sunday and you're supposed to look a certain way. And that's the mentality that I have. And I do love dressing up. I do love putting my pearls on. I still got my pearls on. Like, I love all those things. But I have to be okay with being who I am too. And I'm not saying I'm a slouch and I dress like this all the time. Okay, well, yeah, I really do kind of dress like this all the time. Not all the time. I was dressed up earlier today, okay? So, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay for me to have a cool little yoga bun here. I'm kind of digging it. Actually, no, I'm not. Like, because this big thing right here. Yeah. Anyway, curly hair is so difficult when you're wearing buns. But anyway, just like in challenging my thinking and my biased opinions. You remember the first of the call when I told you that I got my butt chewed yesterday by my business coach in front of a room of 150 plus people? Business owners at that. Very influential business owners, like big business owners that flew everywhere in the country to be here, okay? I knew she was going to bust my butt. I knew when I was walking up to that microphone to say what I was going to say, I was going to get my butt busted. I knew it. I was totally disheartened. I went back to the table and I almost cried because everybody in the room was looking at me like I was crazy. I remember standing at the mic and asking my question, and I remember my heart beating in my thumbs and in my hands. That's how much adrenaline was pumping inside of me, because I was like, am I saying the right thing? Am I asking the right question? Am I talking too much? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? What should I say here? But you know what? I got my butt busted yesterday. I was sad for a little while because I was like, I'm never going to do anything good. And what's wrong with me? And I've messed this all up. And oh my goodness. And I can't believe I even went up there and asked that question because I was stupid. And why did I do that? But when we went up stage yesterday to take a picture with her after the coaching, she took her hands and she put them around my face. She took my hand took my face in her hands, and she said, you've got millions of dollars inside of you. Millions of dollars that are going to change the world. And she said, I see it in you. And because I see it in you, I want you to be spoken the truth. I want you to know the truth. I want you to embrace the truth. And she said, your question was one of the best questions out of everybody's. And she said, I answered you because I knew that you could take it, but then you were going to take it and you were going to apply every single thing that I told you to do. And when I am able to have that comfortability level with one of my clients, those are the most successful ones. Those are the ones that change the world. You see, this business coach of mine, she is a top 10 social media influencer in the world, not in the United States. Okay? She is in Forbes magazine every month. She's made over $20 billion on social media. And for her to take my face in her hands and to say that to me, that was what I needed to refill my gas tank after she kind of had told me all the things I was doing wrong. I needed to hear all those things. You see, sometimes we don't want to accept those things because we're so caught up on our biased opinions. And it stops us because of fear, because it may make us uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable to be at the front of the room asking a question that I felt stupid for asking. But had I not done it, I wouldn't be teaching with the energy I have tonight. I wouldn't be feeling restored and renewed. You see, when we come to terms with the fact that sometimes we do need truth spoken into us, and sometimes we do need change, and sometimes we need to embrace those things. You see, when we do that, we can embrace change and we can embrace fear. So do you want to be told the truth too? That's the first question you got to ask your psyche. Can you handle being at a microphone in the front of 150 people feeling like you're a fool? Can you handle that? Can your psyche handle that? Because if it can't handle that, you're not ready for change. So that's the first thing you have to embrace. Am I ready for change? Am I ready for truth to be spoken into me? Am I ready to take it, change, and make something different come? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Do you want a different outcome? Here's the reality of fear. You're not scared of the dark. You're scared of what's in it. I'm not scared of the dark in Kentucky. I'm scared of the snakes and the bears that could get me. You're not afraid of heights. You're afraid of falling. You're afraid of hurting yourself. You're not afraid of people around you. You're afraid of rejection. Hello, that's me. I've never wanted to be rejected. Starting at a very young age, I felt rejected because my father wasn't in my life and my mom wasn't in my life. I felt rejected. I felt unloved, unlovable. We have those fears and they consume us in our adult lives. You have a fear of being rejected? Remember that when you go to meet someone new, that's fear talking. It's not the truth. It's the enemy trying to bring you down. He's trying to show you that you can't do something. And that's what he does. He's the master of it. You're not afraid to love. You're just afraid of not being loved back. Amen. Hallelujah to that. Some of our hearts have been broken way too many times, and we have a fear of it being broken again. You're not afraid to let it go. You're just afraid to accept the reality that he's gone or she's gone. We don't want to be alone. We want to be with someone all the time. We want to be loved and all those things that Facebook, get it, social media, Facebook says that our relationship should be, when in reality that's not real. Like, all marriages and relationships are hard. They're hard work. There's struggles. There's valleys. There's peaks. There's all those seasons of every relationship that we have. Okay? So you're not alone on that journey either. You're not afraid to try again. You're just afraid of getting hurt for the same reason. How many of that is? Spiders are scary, and it's okay to be afraid of them. I've came to that conclusion. I haven't been scared of spiders before, but I may be scared of them now because a lot of people are, evidently. I'm not scared of them. They don't bother me. So, snake thing. So, conclusion. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. We have to fear that shaky feeling, that blood pumping in our fingertips at the microphone, feeling of complete and utter fear. We have that to fear. That's what's holding us back. That's what's scary to us. That is what makes us go, I don't want to go there. Like, I wouldn't jump out of a plane unless a plane was going down. Then I may jump. But that's it. And only like if it was as close to the ground as it was going to get. Because no, I'm not doing that. No. Like, why would anybody go skydiving? I don't get it. Like, yeah, anyway. Moving forward. So, my heart for you tonight. My journey. Actually, I don't know where it's at. Hold on. I know I had another slide in here somewhere. But maybe I didn't. It may have got moved. Well, I kind of know what it was on. Okay, so here we go. I've got them wrote down, so I've got little side notes. My heart for you tonight is that maybe you can embrace some of my personal experiences, and maybe you can embrace some of my struggles, and you can take them and you can use them in your life. And so my ultimate defining story is that I believe, and my story and everything that I do is based upon the cross. And that's where I'm always led to. And that's what keeps me strong and keeps me going. And that's my faith. I'm not asking you to be a person of faith tonight. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying I love you. I love you no matter who you are, no matter what you believe in, no matter what you do. I just love you. I'm just saying this is my story, okay? And this is what keeps me going and keeps me strong and keeps me pushing forward and believing that there's an ultimate goal in mind. And the ultimate goal for me is living eternity. It is being in a much better place with no pain and only joy. That's my goal. I'm not saying you have to believe it. I'm just sharing it because that's what I come from, where I came from, and I do believe. And so some of my biggest fears in life, this was a slide that I'm missing. Somehow it like disappeared off my slideshow. And so some of my biggest fears that I've had to overcome in my life is, my first one was fear, and I tore my ACL in college and playing soccer. And then I tore my other ACL in college while I was skiing. And so I've tore both of my ACLs and both my knees. And when the doctors told me I had to have surgery, I never stayed a night in the hospital, y'all. Knock on wood. That was the biggest moment of fear in my life. I don't want to have surgery. I don't want anyone cutting on me. Why do I have to go through this? I don't understand it. Like, I couldn't understand why I had bad knees. And I just asked myself over and over again. My next one was, this one's a big one for me. Because it's defined me. It's defined who I am today. I may get a little emotional here. Oh, goodness. Fear was pulling out of my driveway to move to Kansas City almost 9 years ago. I remember pulling out in my Jeep, and I remember looking in the rearview mirror, and I remember seeing my aunt who raised me, who I call Mom, and I remember seeing my grandma, and I remember them waving to me. And I remember seeing tears just drop down my grandmother's face as I pulled away. I remember Leisha, who's on the call. I remember her coming and helping me pack up my apartment in my small college town, and wondering if I was going to be okay, and if I was ever going to find success. And if I was ever going to be, good at anything, if I was ever going to make it out of a small town, if I was going to go out and change the world or not. But I did. I got to Kansas City and I had a failed marriage. This is the other one I have listed. I had a failed marriage, and then I lost my brother to a drug overdose, and then I lost my mom all within 1 year. And it made pulling out of the driveway that day seem about this tall compared to the fears I was experiencing then. Then fear became a much bigger thing to me. You see, I had feared this little tiny thing of moving 12 hours from home, which then became very small, because then I started fearing losing other people in my life. And I started clamoring to wanting to have more time with them, as much time as I could possibly get. Because I learned in those 12 months of loss that nothing matters but time. Nothing matters but the people that are in your life. Nothing matters. Jumping off a cliff can be the worst thing in the world. It can be scary. But if you're holding someone's hand when you jump off a cliff, it's a lot less scary. So are you spending time with the people that matter? Because I don't want fear to consume you like it did me in 2012 when I was lost in a world where I had no clue. I had no clue. I was clueless, lost, broken, and at the lowest point. But I was found again. You see, when I developed my relationship with Jesus, it changed. My life changed. And so I'm not saying you have to believe in Jesus. I'm just saying that's what happened for me. And so I love this shirt. Be kind. It feels better. I've got it on right now. I just took this picture earlier. Okay? Imagine the amount of happiness you would dispense in a lifetime. So if we do one thing a day to bless someone else, imagine how much over a lifetime that you could do to change the world. Okay? What would you do? This is a question I want to leave you with. What would you do if you weren't afraid? You weren't afraid. I was terrified the day I moved to Kansas City. I remember driving, thinking, what am I doing? I want to go home. Like, why am I going here? But you see, that's where I was called to be. I just didn't know it yet. It's hard. I really miss home. I miss home a lot. I want to go home a lot. I want to see my family a lot. God plotted me here for a reason. And he said, I'm going to give you technology so you can see your family and your friends and those people. I'm going to provide this for you. Thank goodness I'm in the technology era where I can see people. I can see my family post on Facebook because that keeps me going. It reminds me that they're still there and I love them so much. Okay, so what would you do? Would you pack up your car? Would you leave? Would you go 12 hours from your home? Would you do that? Would you take that step? If that's what you're called to do, would you do it? Ask yourself that question. So, congratulations, Leisha, for winning. You actually were drawn out of a basket because I wrote everybody's name down, I promise. I didn't have time to do the drawing tonight, but Leisha did win, even though she is like, she should win. She totally deserves it. When I drew it, I was like, She totally deserves it. And so I will be mailing that to her. I'm so excited for her to get that. It's going to be awesome. And so here's what I want to leave you with. I don't ask y'all. This is what Sandy said to me yesterday, my business coach. She said, "You're spending how much time? And you're not getting paid anything?" I said, "No, I'm not getting paid anything." She looked at me and she said, "It's crazy. You know that, right?" Yeah, I know. So I'm an impact girl. I don't care about putting money in my pocket. Money's nice. It pays the bills. But you see, I'd rather one of your lives be changed. I'd rather one of your friends that you shared this event with, lives be changed. Okay, so if you're invited to this call by a friend, I want you to reach out to them this week. And if this call touched you, I want you to thank them for sharing this call with you. The only thing I ask you to do for me is to go to ambermaychin.com, my Facebook page, and share your thoughts about Power Hour. What did you gain tonight? What was your aha moment? What clicked in your brain that made something move forward or take that first step without seeing the whole staircase? Share that on my page. It's the only thing I ask. And I ask you to share the event next month. We're going to be talking about forgiveness. I recently walked this journey, and it is one of the most freeing experiences I have ever had in my life. And so I'm really glad that you guys voted, because you guys voted on the intake forms. What topic? And that's going to be every month. You have to register every month. You don't have to enter your email and your address every month, but you do have to vote on the topic every month to get the link. Okay? So sharing that event and inviting people to like this page, Amber May Chin. If you go in and you click invite friends to like this page, if you could do that for me, you don't need to pay me a dime. I don't need any money from you. But if you could share my page with people, because they come to I found out through my business coach yesterday, people don't engage in events. They engage in people's profiles and their business pages. And so if you could share my page with your friends, they will see the event, and then they will end up tuning in next month to the forgiveness event. Okay? So I want to leave this thought with you. It's something that sticks in my heart all the time. The Bible says, do not fear 365 times. God strategically wrote that in. Whether you believe the Bible or you don't, there's some kind of peace in that. 365 days a year and 365 times does it say, do not fear. It means take that step, even though you can't see the staircase right now, and all you can see is that first step. Take that first step. That's all I'm asking you to do. It's uncomfortable. It's going to make you sweaty and clammy like I feel right now. Like, I'm just stand up for a minute. Goodness, hot flashes. Okay? It's going to make you, here, there we go. No, see, was it? Oh, goodness. Yeah, okay. Take the first step, y'all. Take the first step. Conquer your fear. Go after what you want to go after. I'm so excited for next month, because this is a journey. This has been a journey for me over the last 2 years. Okay? I had some staff members really hurt me and really betray me. And I have walked through this forgiveness journey with them. And you know, I love them more right now than I loved them before they hurt me. I have came to that place where the chains have fell off And I have forgiven them no matter what they do going forward. I love them. And so I'm ready to walk this journey with you. I probably can go on and do it tonight if I wanted to. Okay? So I'm going to end the screen share now. That way, if we have any questions or anything, you guys are happy to share. I'm going to mute everybody. Do we have any questions at all?
How much of our economy depends on the ideas and contributions of non-citizens, the best young minds in the world.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions or they pop up later, send me a message. You can send me a message on my public profile page. Just click send message, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have or pop up over the next couple of hours. I'm so blessed and grateful that I got to spend this hour with you. And I'm so humbled that 21 people would show up and just spend this time and this hour with me. And so thank you for taking time out of your evening. And I love y'all. And just know that your life has great purpose. It has great meaning. It's a great calling on your life. And sometimes we have to take a step out of fear to reach that ultimate purpose. And so step out of fear and go for it. I love y'all. Have a blessed, wonderful rest of your night. I'm thinking of you and I'm praying for you, and I wish nothing but success for you. Have a wonderful night. Take care.
Love you, Amber.
We love you. Mwah! Hugs across the miles.
Bye. Thanks, Amber.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Good night, y'all.